In this video, we're going to start with a blank template here. You can see here a blank sheet, and our focus will be how can you create a chart that the moment you click a button, the value of the item goes up. So we increase the value. It's like almost very similar to a polling chart. Basically, you select the value and then or vote, and as you vote that, the chart increases in value. So we're not going to use option buttons, we're just going to use basic plain buttons. However, using option radio buttons would be possible. I will make another video for that specifically. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create first a very simple chart here. A bar chart, it will be a bar chart. I will put it in a Bootstrap template. It's a green background with a card in the center, so there will be a 2 offset here, or offset 2, and column 8 will be in here in the middle. So we force the card in the center, and the chart will be within that card template or the card design, so it's all in the center focused. Alright, so let's start with that. So to do that, I'm going to get in Bootstrap our starter template. I like to use this, it's a very good one. This is Bootstrap 5.0, which is perfect to use. Alright, click on this on copy, or get any template you want. Put it in here, and I'm going to remove all of these excess data here. Let's delete all of this, and that one as well. So I'm going to remove this here, and what I will say here is Chartjs 2.9.4. That's the current version I'm using right now, 2.9. Alright, so we have this now here, and I'm going to give the body a class. No, you should not do that, or it would not be recommended. However, just for simplicity, and I will make this a background green. I'm just doing it for simplicity's sake. So once we have this, make the column offset to column 8. So we say here div class, and in here we will say column -8 offset -2, and then I want to have a margin up and down, so margin y 5. That will be more than enough. And then in here we're going to create the card. So I say a div class, this will be a card, and within here we will create the card body. So we say here again div class, card body, and then in here we'll say Chartjs, and then here we make a horizontal line, that's fine. And here we put in our canvas. So that will be still edit. For now, we just leave that blank. Right. What we're going to do is now we're going to add up the JavaScript of Chartjs library, but we will do it here below. And the reason why I'm doing that below here, and of course you can have your own preference. This is the specific to the Bootstrap template, so I will leave that one. I want to give the template design priority, and then after here will be specifically the Chartjs. All right. So we're going now to chartjs.org, click here. Once you're here, you'll see here the installation guide. And the introduction has the perfect one. I will just copy this part here. I will not spend too much time on this, because I want to create the interactivity. So what I'm going to do here, first paste this in here, and I will remove all of this data here, and I will say here, this can be just a bar chart. Alright. And since I adjusted this will be important later on in our JavaScript here below. Alright, copy all of this. I will put this down here, and this is specifically code for this bar chart, which is fine. As you can see here, bar chart. I will change this to const. I like to have const more. Alright, there we are. So we see here ctx equals document dot get element by ID. What is our ID name? It's not anymore my chart. Why we change this? We get this. So now we can add up the remaining one, which will be between here. That will be the JavaScript library for Chartjs. For that, we need to go to Getting Started, and in here you can see this is the link here, or this is the the JavaScript library CDN. However, what we want to do is we want to adjust this later on, because this is not the most updated version, which is 2.9.4. So we can copy that, put it in here, remove these numbers here, or adjust this to 2.9.4, which is the latest version as of now. Alright, So we've got this. Let's save all of this. Here, go here, refresh the page, and now you can see we have a nice chart. Beautiful. What we want to do is here we have these options here, and we want to vote. As you can see here, number of votes. Well, this is probably a default. There was a default text in here. However, quite appropriate. What we want to do is, if we select, for example, we want a button, and then if we select red, we want to add up red with one value. So how can we do this? Well, first of all, we need to understand what we need to do here. And that is, we need to create buttons here. So I'll make 3 buttons, which will be red, blue, and green. Oh, sorry, red, blue, and yellow. I'm thinking RGB colors, so sorry for that. Red, blue, and yellow, which are the primary colors for printing. Alright, so now what we can do is the following. We're going to create 3 buttons here. And to make them, I'll just put them here. And then in here, I will say here is a button. And this button class will be btn warning for red. Oh no, sorry, that's danger. That's red. Red. And then ID equals red. That makes sense, right? So, and the reason why we're going to give an ID is because later on we need to communicate this with JavaScript. This is the reason why we work with IDs, and you can do this with classes as well, but it's probably not suitable situation for now. So here blue, and this will be blue, and here we have yellow, and this is yellow. Alright, so this one I'll say warning because warning has a yellow color, and this blue will be primary. So if we save this, refresh, as you can see, red, blue, yellow, very appropriate. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to communicate with them. So basically what we want to do is the moment we click on this, JavaScript should understand we click something, and there should be increasing value. And which value specifically? Well, in this case, it would be, if we click red, we should have the value of 12 votes should increase to 13 votes. So what we have to do is we have to get these values. So what we're going to do now is here, first indicate or communicate in JavaScript that this button in HTML should do something in JavaScript. That's number 1. So what we're going to do here, to do that we need to extract the IDs by using almost similar to this here, the text here. So we say here, const red, and this is our new red variable or red constant. And this constant, what we'll do, well, it will say document.get element by ID. And then we say red, because red is our ID name. So once we did that, we have this. We can do the same one for yellow and blue. Or well, it's blue and yellow. So blue, yellow, blue, yellow. Alright. So once you have this, now what we need to do is we just need to solve what we want to do. We need to understand specifically what we want to do. We want to make sure that JavaScript understands that the moment we click on something, it triggers something. So it understands that we get something, but what exactly should it do? Well, for this, now we say if we click on red, so we say red variable or constant red, which is this ID name, add event listener, so it should listen to something, or basically trigger. So something will be triggered the moment we click. Or how do you want to get it triggered? Well, by clicking. Yes, you can do also a mouse over, hover, on change, but no, we don't want. We want click. So the moment we click, we want to trigger function. Function name, right? That's the function name. I'll call it vote red. So the moment we click on red, this function name is the name vote red should be triggered. So if you want to test this, maybe you say, well, okay, I'm quite curious, how will that work? Well, we just make a function with vote red. That's the exact same thing that we have here. Then we can double check. Is it listening to our command? Well, let's double check. So we say here console.log. So we're going to show it in the console log in the developer tab later on. So the moment we click on this, I want to say here red. Let's save this, and I will comment out these because this might trigger an error. Save this. Go here, open up our developer tab, and you can see here nothing happens yet. But the moment we click here, we see red. That is correct. But if we click on this, nothing happens because it's only on red. If I keep on clicking on it, you can see it counts how many times I click. Alright, meaning this is working exactly what we want. So the moment we click here now, we should add the value here. Alright, so that will be the next part that we need to do. So what we're going to do here is, I'm going to cut this out. Oh, sorry, no, I don't cut that one out. I will cut this out because I want to move this away. Alright, we leave this here. It understands this. We will make still the yellow and the blue we still need to do. But I'm going to put this already here below. So in here, we have this function red. Alright. However, here, we're just going to continue on. We say blue. We say yellow. We say vote yellow. And we say vote blue. So once we have these, now we can make here 3 more functions. And these 3 functions are almost identical. Yellow, blue, and then we have red. Alright, so I'll just put in here B for blue, and I'll say here Y for yellow. Alright, so what we're going to do now is, because what are we really needing? Well, we want to do the following. The moment we click, we want to adjust the red value, that's this one here, the data. So we need to extract this data. So how do we do this? Well, simply here, we can put in the item. We can get the data. So how do we extract exactly this data first? Because what we need to do is we need to get we need to get the value of this data, and then we add up the value plus 1. That's basically what we're going to do. So to extract this data, we need to indicate here in Chartjs the following. Going from chart, or my chart, then we go to data, we go to data sets, and then from data sets we go to data, and then value number 1, which is in an array. And this, so in an array is 0 base, meaning that this will be data 0. I hope you are able to follow me here. But if you don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly. So what we're going to do here is the following. We're going to get this. We say first, where are we going to get the data? Over which chart? Well, in this chart here, or in this command, this constant, which is basically the canvas ID of bar chart. So in the bar chart canvas ID, we will go to data. So we say here, this, my chart, then we go to data. Why data? Well, data is here. This is the next level. Then we go one down. We don't go labels. No, we don't want that. We go to data sets. And data sets, as you can see here in this bracket, is an array as well. So we need to indicate the first data set. Alright? So the first data set is 0 because arrays are 0 based counting. So we've got that. Now we're in the data sets, and then we go to data. Here in data, what we want is the first value out of here, which is, so dot data 0. Alright, so the moment we click now, you will see that this will show us the red value of number 12. Let's save this, go back here, refresh, and then let's click on the red. As you can see, number 12 is being shown. And in blue, you can see B and Y, or yellow shows Y. Alright, so we're getting very close to it. So what we want to do now is the following. We've got this, but we want to update this value here. So what we will say is the following. We will say here, update value, and this can be a const. Update value, this one here, plus 1. So the moment we click, we should add up the new value. So let's make sure that this works. So we say here, update value, we want to display this. Let's save this. Alright, nothing happens here because but the moment we click on this, you can see now it's number 13. Well, it was, currently it's 12. And it maintains 13. Why? Because it doesn't update here yet. So don't worry about that, we're going to update this now. So we got this, this is what we want. And then what we're going to do is we can remove this one now, and then we say here the following. So we got this, and then we say this value. So we're going to say again, this value here is equal to update value. And once we did that, we say now my chart dot update, because we're going to update this. All right, let's save this, refresh, and then now if we click, as you can see, we're now, every time we vote for red, red is going up. So let's go and adjust the remaining ones. So you've probably figured out now how to do it. So we can just delete this. We say here again, the constant, we just update value, and the reason we can use the update value here because these constants are within the blocks, which is fine. You can basically copy this all. It should not be a problem. And then here's the question, which color or which value do you have here? Well, let's look at it. Blue is the second one in the array, which is number 1. So we say here 1, and then we say here 1. And then, of course, the same for yellow. Then we say here, number 2, and number 2. Let's save this, refresh, and now if we click on this, red goes up, and then here we have blue goes up, we keep on going blue, and now we have yellow, there we are. And this is basically how you can do it. And if you want, let's do the others as well. This is a short exercise. Basically, as a reminder, first of all, what you do is you create the buttons, give them an ID. So what we're going to do here now, as a reminder, they say repetition is the mother of all learning. Alright, so I'm going to give here colors because we don't have any more. Oh, success for green. Sorry, that's still acceptable. Alright, what do we have more? We have green, purple, orange. Alright, the others we don't have any buttons, so I'm going to just give them a dark option, and this is purple, purple, and here we have, oh, sorry, orange, orange. Alright, so once we have these, what we're going to do now is we're going to add up the constant values to communicate with JavaScript. So I will just copy these, put it in here, and then we say here green. It will be green. This will be, what was that? Purple. And we have orange. Orange and purple. Alright, same story here. So the moment we trigger this, we should have a triggering. So what we're doing here is basically this one should be the trigger. The moment they click on green, what do we want to do? We want to click, we do here vote green. And I will make one that's slightly different just to show you another option here as well. Orange, vote orange. This is vote purple. And maybe you say, well, what if we have something else? Let's say mouse over. Let's say mouse over. So on orange, it's not on click, but the moment we mouse over with our mouse on the button, it should be triggered. Well, we can try that. That will be fun. Alright, so we've got these. Let's get this now. Here we have these functions, or basically, you can just copy this 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. So what we have to do here, this will be green. And then we have to double check here the data. Green is probably the next in line. Green, purple, orange. So green is number 3, 4, and 5. Remember, this is 0. So this is why 3, 4, and 5 in this part here. So 3, 4, and 5. 5, 4, 3. Vote green, vote purple, vote orange. Alright, let's save this. Go back here. As you can see here now, if we click on this, that works, that works, that works. You can see it's increasing. Purple, and now let's pay attention. If you can see here, I'm not even clicking. You see, it's still pressed on purple. Basically, it's still there, active. But the moment I move my mouse here, with mouse over, as you can see, it starts to increase in value tremendously. But if I click, nothing happens. So if you want to do them both, of course, what you can do here is create a trigger for both ways. For example, mouse over, but also click. Alright, if I save this now and refresh, now if I hover over, alright, you can see that works. But if I click, it works as well. So if I keep on clicking and move mouse over, you can see. And that's basically how you can create almost a poll in a Chartjs. Basically, this is a polling version of a Chartjs, but then instead of a radio button, it's specifically to a button on click option. So if you like videos like this, check out my YouTube channel. And if you have questions regarding to this, post them in the comment section below. And if you want to learn something else or have some suggestions for me, let me know. And if you're interested in going really deep in Chartjs, check out my Chartjs course on Udemy.